I think one thing that's very English is harping back and whinging combined. People saying, oh, England used to be better in my day, oh, England was better when I was a kid, England was better in the 50s or whatever. Carl, do you think England's better now? Are you happier now than you were when you were a kid?
Do you feel that life was better in, say, the 1950s?
I don't know, I wasn't around. So
but you understand what it was like in those days? You've seen happy days.
I don't know, people always say, don't they, old people always say, oh, you know, it's a better life in the 50s. And he's like, yeah, it was for them. Of course it was for them. They're old now. Being old isn't great, is it? So you're just happy with your lot. I suppose I was happiest in about 1984.
Quite a specific year.
Why? Why was that?
It was just I was free and happy.
How old were you?
I don't know.
He's just counting on his fingers now.
12.
Right, okay.
And it was just good.
So the happiest days of your life were between the age of 12 and 13?
Yeah, it was good. I had the world ahead of me.
Little did you know your hair was going to fall out and you were going to whinge every minute of the day.
I had my bike. I like messing about on my bike. You had your mates. I had a pet magpie.
So you were probably the teenager that you eventually hate?
Probably.
Were you a good lad, law-abiding?
I wasn't bad. I just sort of, you know, just potted about. I mean, when people talk about what was on the telly back then, I don't have that much memory of it because I was always out. I was always playing out.
What were you doing when you were out?
Just playing about, just like on a bike or...
Just riding in a circle endlessly through blizzards,
I loved it.
Rain, sleet, hail.
I never seemed to be in. I was always... When everyone always goes, where were you when Band-Aid was happening? I was always out on my bike. And everything was like...
you and McGregor?
A memory's always sort of like coming in for some orange and looking at the telly and seeing Princess Diana's getting married, and my mum says, have you seen this? And I'm going, oh, I'm going out on my bike. I was always doing that. The only time I was in the house...
I love it.
This is why you don't know anything, because you never stopped.
Yeah, but this is what being a kid's about.
But
That's
all
what
the
I mean, being
information
free.
you have, Carl, is as though you've gleaned it as you raced by on a bike. It's almost like, you know, every piece of information you have.
Your hair blowing in the wind. Carl, your hair will blow out one day. Oh, don't talk stupid, ma'am.
So yeah, 12 to 13 was good.
But you see...
And it was all downhill from then, was it?
13 is your teenager then, aren't you? Life got tough.
Yeah, how did it get tough?
Just straight away when I was 13, my mum was like, you know, oh, it's your 13th birthday, you're a teenager now.
Right.
And she gave us a quid to go and get a cake to celebrate it. Went to the supermarket, got a cake, and I just thought, I don't like the look of this. Don't like the look of the way the future is here.
On his 13th birthday!
Well, you were buying a cake. What did you see at the supermarket?
It was kind of like, I don't know, I suddenly felt grown up. I didn't like it.
But I think you were always about 58, really, with your outlook.
Well, yeah, my mum always said I was old. She said I was an old baby. She said I could frown before I could walk. So they always had a bit of a worry look on my face. Didn't say much, just always listened. My eyes moved about more than I did. Just sat there looking around, looking stressed.
My eyes moved about more than I did. Oh dear, couldn't walk. Well, I can't walk, but I'll try and get a bit of movement in my face. It's a workout, a baby workout. Oh, babies, well, if you can't walk, what about your face? Let your face do the walking.
It sounds like that horror film. It sounds like Pilkington's Baby.
Yeah.
Just you lying there in your cot.
I didn't like all the stuff that's set up for you. Like, my mum tried to send me to, like, a nursery. I said, no, I'm not having this.
Just like that.
I said when I'm older and I've got to go, I'll go, but let's leave out this bit. And she said, alright.
I love the fact that he could reason with her. I love him, he's 3 years old with a pipe. She's going, you're going to nursery. She goes, I think not, Mum.
I mean, kids don't play out, do they? Kids, you know, parents are scared to let the kids play out, and that's why the streets are dangerous now. Because no one's playing out on the streets. Whereas when I was a kid, everyone was out on the streets were safer. Because there was more people knocking about.
Right.
Let the kids play out.
It must be like a constant, like a Larry painting, his front garden, do you know what I mean? Just loads of people just walking around.
There was never any problems. I was sort of taken away by some fella.
What?
Whoa.
No, I was playing about in the garden.
Yeah.
But my dad's mate, Tony, he did tiling with him. He drove past. And he saw me looking a bit fed up, so he just leant over, picked me up, took me to the pub. Now, the thing is, there wasn't panic. People weren't going, oh, God, where's Carl gone?
He's out.
Just...
How old were you?
He's down in the pub.
Yeah,
he's 4 years old, yeah. Well, he's only having a...
He's down in the pub with Tony, probably, playing darts.
Yeah, I was about 3 or 4.
Sorry, so some bloke drives by who happens to be a friend of your dad's, thinks that baby looks grumpy.
Yeah.
I'm taking him down to
But
the pub.
that's what it was
Tony,
like.
you bringing the baby to the pub? Yeah, I might do, yeah, we're all bringing ours. Alright, see you later, mate.
But that's what I'm saying. Whereas now they go, the baby's gone. There's a big full-on panic going
Yeah,
on.
but I think it says more about your parents that they didn't do that. They looked out in the back car and you were gone. Some bloke's driving off in a van. They're just going, oh, well, doesn't Princess Diana look lovely? This is absurd. So what happened when you got down to the pub?
I just was there for a bit, and then
For a bit, just had a game of pool.
then my dad came in. It was like, oh, there you are.
Oh, there you are! I love that! Where's my baby? I'm just gonna have a quick pint. Oh, there you are. Alright, mate.
So, yeah, I think things were better back then.
The Cure, Lullaby, on NME Radio, with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Now, straight after your holiday, you got home, and then came out to visit me in Boston on the set of my film I was doing.
Mm.
How was that?
Well, I didn't want to do it, did I? He called up and said, do you want to come out? And
Do
I
a
thought,
favour for me. Ricky said, can you do a favour for me? You thought no.
Well, no, I didn't just go no. I sort of said, what is it? And he said, oh, well, you can just have a part. And he's like, what's the point, though? I'm not an actor. I can't act. What's the point? It's
Well,
a
you
long
are,
way
you're
to
Graham.
go. So anyway, he said, all right, don't bother. Then a week later, calls back and he says, bring Suzanne with you if you want. Oh, holiday. So I thought, yeah, I could treat Suzanne to that.
I thought a little part for him. They'd probably pay 2 flights.
Yeah.
You know, she's coming out. I thought, share it with friends. I was
You're a
having-
generous guy.
Yeah, so I thought, oh, she'll love that. That'll get me in a good book. So I said, listen, we're going to Boston. She goes, right. Anyway, Ricky books the tickets and that. She can't get time off because we'd just been in Menorca. So they said, hang on, you've just had a week off. You can't go anywhere. So I had to go on my own, right? Which, you know, fair enough. I'd said I'd go by that point. It'd all been booked. The costume that I needed for the film bit had been made. I couldn't get out of it. I was in too deep. Anyway, go there. Boston isn't worth seeing.
Oh.
I mean, you're talking about travelling the world and, you know, opening your eyes and seeing new things. There's nothing to see in Boston. It's Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks. There's nothing else, is there? I'm not being unfair there. I mean, it looks nice. There's nice buildings.
You mean there's not a museum of the weird?
There's they had something to do with tea bags, didn't they? That I told
No,
you,
it's the Boston
hotel.
Tea Party. It wasn't nothing
Yeah.
to do with tea
But
bags. It was the Boston Tea Party. That one of the founding events of America.
I know, yeah.
It wasn't something to do with tea bags.
So other than that,
It wasn't chimps. There was no chimps involved in the Boston Tea Party.
For me, I went out for a walk on 2 of the days when I wasn't having to work, and
yeah, only worked for 1 day.
well,
Got 3 days free, 4 days in a hotel, all paid for. 1 day's work. I mean, it really is. He really is ungrateful.
So anyway, Steve, I dressed up as a caveman in some old animal stuff, which you thought, well,
This was for the film, was it? This wasn't
for the
just your
film.
natural.
Yeah.
So can I just say, it was not real fur. I insisted there was no real fur.
Well, you
used.
say that.
Yeah.
I get back, right, I'm run down because I didn't sleep when I was out there. I'm not very good. If Suzanne's not in the bed, there's something, it's like I feel...
What, she's got to be there to tell you to sleep.
Well,
Close your eyes now, Carl.
it just...
Now, and our ears, stop listening.
Listen to my words. Stop, sleep now, ears.
So anyway, so I wasn't sleeping, so I was there for 4 days or whatever. I must have had about 3 hours.
One real day's work filming,
2,
and he was
2
shattered.
really, 2.
He was absolutely shattered. He was weak. He was ill for a week afterwards. I did
was
like
run down.
35 days. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, but you were sleeping. If you don't sleep, it's basic sort of biology. That if you don't sleep, you get run down. Sloths never get a flu because it's good, isn't it? That's when your body's replenishing.
Stop. Can we just go over that way? Replenishing.
What is it then?
I'm gonna burst. Sloths never get flu because that's when your body's replenishing.
So the thing is, I'm bound to get ill. Steve, you know what it's like. You're always like got a cold and that.
Oh, he's dissing you. Everything's
what's
a
it got to do
diss.
with
I'm just saying because you're a bit of a sickly child, so you don't
Oh, jeez.
I'm only
to go at the looks
understand.
and
No,
then
only because I'm trying to get him on my side. So anyway, so I'm shattered. I get back, so I think it's a bit weird that this isn't shaking off. And there was some news report about how there's some serious illnesses in planes because stuff goes out the engine and into the...
Oh, yeah, it's people from all over the world with all different things.
Yeah,
breathing
so
the same
I'm
air,
thinking,
yeah.
oh, what have I got? You know, it's my luck, innit? So I go to the doctors.
The doctor said, well, you've done a whole day's work, you're not used to that, your body's shut down.
So he said,
You better have a holiday.
Yeah, you need, this is when your body needs replenishing. And I am a doctor, and I know replenishment is one of the best.
Replemishisation.
So-
replemishisation is one of the best things for slows.
So I said to him, I said, look, I'm not one to moan. I hardly go to see him.
He went, oh, you.
I hardly see him. I hardly see this fella. So I said, look, I can't shake this cold off. I woke up the other night shaking. And he said, oh, virus. Right? So,
which isn't scary at all, because everything, you know.
well, there's some dodgy virus, isn't
Well,
there?
yeah, but there's some.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah,
that's
of course, it's a
why I would.
virus.
Yeah.
What else would it? What else would it be?
I don't know. Not a doctor. So I said, oh, when's it going to go? And he said, oh, might be 2 weeks, this one. Seems like a bad one. Quite clammy, he said. So I said, yeah, I feel a bit clammy, yeah. And he said, yeah, you will do. So anyway, so I felt happy about that, and I'm more confident with the doctor because, you know, you've got your vest off and all that, so you think, why not just let him do a bit of a body check? So I said, doctor, whilst I'm here, I think I've got some eczema on my leg. And he goes, let's have a look. And I said, there it is there. And he said, that's not eczema. So you've got a touch of ringworm.
Blimey.
Right? So straight away, anything with a worm in it, you're going, you know what?
Yeah.
'Cause it makes it sound worse, doesn't it? I was thinking like tapeworm and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's going, yeah, ringworm, and he saw me panic, and he went, don't worry.
You
it's not-
pictured a worm with a giant
Well,
mechanical arm crawling up
He
your back.
could see by my face I was a little bit like, I've got a worm in my leg. He's going, don't worry, it's not a worm. And I said, how have I got that then? And I reckon it's from this bear suit that I had to
It wasn't.
wear.
It was. Well, it was
It's a
fake
little bit
fur.
weird that I had
No, it was 'cause
bare
you're in
boots on. I had bare boots on, and
Yeah.
where the bare boot was, I ended up with ringworm on my
Do
leg.
you know why it is where it was? Because the only bit of your leg showing, because you had bare boots on, fake fur, with a fake fur tunic, and the only bit showing was your shin. You were walking around in long grass. You got it from the grass.
Well, no, because I said to him, because I wanted to hear the words bear suit from him. I said, where
What's the chances of that?
Yeah.
I said, where...
Doctor, what might I have got this from? And then you just shut up and waited for him to say
I said,
bear suit.
it's a little bit weird, isn't it? I said, I thought that died out with rickets, right? Because I'd never heard of ringworm since I was a kid. I remember some dirty kid had it at school, and my mum sort of said, don't go near him. So I said, ringworm then, doctor. Where have I got that from? Thinking he'd say...
Have you been wearing a bear suit?
Yeah. Anyway, he said, well, he says gay people get it.
What?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Why did he say that to you?
Well,
out of
this
the
is
blue?
what he said. He said gay people. I said, right, tick that off. He said wrestlers.
Why do wrestlers get it?
And I said, I don't understand the connection. I said, I don't know, any gays. I don't know any wrestlers. And he went, well, it's the body, skin rubbing.
Well, why do only gay people get it then? Why do heterosexual people get it?
Don't know. Didn't quiz him. But then he said, what about...
Did the doctor really say to you, gay people get it?
He might have said, like, homosexuals.
Does this doctor operate from a park bench somewhere?
Sorry,
Does he have a lot of carrier bags with him?
Why would his first thing be ringworm? Gay people get it.
So yeah, I said not gay. I said I don't know any wrestlers. That's a fact. And then he said, have you stroked any bald pets?
Any bald pets?
Bald. He said, have you stroked anything with hair missing? Bald.
That's just yourself.
And I said, I can't remember. And I couldn't be bothered.
Was this, sorry, were these all euphemisms? Like, wrestlers get it. Wink. Do they? Yeah. You stroked to the little bald hairless thing. No, doctor. Okay, gay people get it. Look. Are you gay? Are you gay? I'm gay. I want to stroke someone bald.
So I didn't want to get into the bear suit thing because then he'd be thinking, what's he doing?
No, you've got it.
So what? Wait. So he had a list of reasons. He's reading this off a list, was he?
No, he did it from his head. He knew it already. He didn't have to look at a form or anything. He went ringworm. He's obviously had a few people in there who have had it, and they've gone ringworm. That's a bit weird. Where have I got that from? And he knew straight away.
So he's
Wrestlers.
had 3 people in there with ringworm.
Popular.
One of them was a wrestler. One of them had a shaved dog, and one of them was a homosexualist. Is this the same doctor who
Told me that my nerves were too short for my body.
Yeah.
Different fella. So yeah, ringworm I got from my time in Boston.
Well, that was a heck of a story. I'm beginning to wonder if the reason Suzanne didn't go with you on that trip was not to do with work obligations.
I would love to see you on The Apprentice. What would Karl be like on The Apprentice?
Wow, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Well, firstly, he's not a team player.
He's not a team player. No, he'd just go out getting his own money and say and not share it with anyone. So that's number one.
Joking.
That's number one. 2, you wouldn't want to do it. You'd say, well, why am I doing it? For that, I've got bills to pay.
Do what?
Well, exactly. Whatever he asked you to do.
No, it's a task, innit? And I wouldn't go on there.
Well,
anyway.
treat this is like a task.
Well, okay, here's a task right now. Last night on The Apprentice, they were doing interviews.
Oh, don't tell me anything because I don't know who's in it. I won't. All I'll say is that one of the interviewers says, and it's an old interviewing trick when you're working in business. They say, "I've got a lovely luxury pen here, right? Here's a classic old Bic biro, right? Now you've got to sell that to me now, right? Sell it to me now. How would you sell it to me, right?
So this is a pen shop?
No, it's a test, right, to see how well you can sell something, okay?
Yeah, but...
Doesn't matter what it is. In this instance, it's a cheap pen, right?
No, but
sell it to me. Tell me the virtues of that pen.
But
Go.
Have you come to me or have I come to you?
No, what do you mean?
You're selling me that pen.
It's a task. You've got to show us how you would sell a pen to us. What's good about... Okay, tell me what's good about that pen.
Right, go. Sell me the pen. You're on my door, right? You're a pen seller.
So I've knocked on your door.
You've knocked on my door, you're selling me a pen.
All right.
Go.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm not interested. What you
don't know what I'm selling yet.
Okay, well, what are you selling?
Don't get nasty.
I'm not getting nasty. I'm just saying, do you like to write much? Do you do much writing?
Yeah, some writing, I'm a writer,
Yeah. Interesting. How do you do that?
Computer.
What, you said we're a processor, computer.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks very much, goodbye.
No, but hang on a minute. Just, do you ever use a pen?
Sometimes I use pens, yeah, but I got loads of pens, thanks. I got a really nice pen here, beautiful, classic.
It looks like an expensive fountain pen.
It's an expensive fountain pen, my grandfather gave it to me. It's
so that's quite a special pen, it sounds like. I mean, it is a lovely pen and everything, but the problem is, when you go out and about, there's a danger that you could lose that.
That is very true, but I mean, I don't really take pens.
Have you seen these, sir? Can I interest you in some?
Just looks like a cheap, tatty old pen, mate.
Sometimes you just want a pen that does the job, and this pen does that job. Do you want to buy some?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Well, because I've just told you I've got a great pen. I've got a great pen already, and I don't see why I need that pen. It's cheap and it's tacky and it's
you're saying
it's
cheap. Do you know how cheap?
How cheap is it?
Well, it depends how many you want.
Well, let's just say, for the sake of argument, I want 50 of them.
Yeah, I can do that.
What kind of deal would you do for me?
£8.
£8 for 50 of those pens? I can get them for about a penny down the market.
Sorry, Karl, you're selling 50 pens for £8. How much do they cost you? Just want to make sure this is a good business venture for you, otherwise it's pointless. How much do they cost you to buy?
I got them really cheap.
But how much?
How much did I say you can have them for?
£8 for 50.
I paid £5 for 50. So
really?
Yeah.
This is. I'll have. Can I have them for £5 because I'm a mate?
You can have 25 for 50.
No, well, no. If you got 50 pens for £5,
I wouldn't do this as a living. Anyway, that's the thing.
Karl, can you get me 50 pens for £5 then?
50 pence for £5.
Yeah.
It's not worth it, mate.
Well, no, I'm a mate. Just you don't want to make a profit out of me, do you?
It's not worth it. I'm trying to run a business there. I've got bills to pay.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to write something. I'm going to close the door in your face.
All right, you don't want a pen.
No.
Fine. Sometimes you've got to know when to cut off and move on. And
so that's what you'd say to Sir Alan, is that you always give up? When someone says no, you give up?
I'll say I met him. He just wasn't having it, Sir Alan. So he didn't want any pens. If you don't want any pens, you're not going to buy them.
But you're a salesman. You've got to persuade me that I need a pen. Everyone needs pens.
But what are you saying about the other fellow that came out of well, just lurking behind him, but came out of the shower, and I went, "Oh, I'll have 50 pens for £5." What did you say to him? He said, "Not interested."
Yeah, because it all got a bit dodgy. I don't know who this person was and that, and he just wanted him at the going rate. What sort of a businessman would it be for me to have got the pens for £50, 50 pens for how much? 8.
You're fired.
Stick it up your ass.
Neil Young, old man. Karl. Now, you know, traditionally at the zoo they have to dart a dangerous animal, a lion or a gorilla or whatever.
What?
They have to dart it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To take blood samples and check its health and stuff. So it's very stressful for the animal and quite dangerous to give it an anaesthetic like that. So what they've started doing now, there's a bug, right, like a type of beetle, and it's a bloodsucker. It's a little vampire bug. Okay, it's about 3 centimetres long. What they do is they tie a piece of string around it. They let it go into the cage on the chimp. It sucks the chimp's blood without the chimp even knowing. They pull it back, and they take the blood sample from it.
They've taught it to do that.
Well, they're not taught it to do anything. That's its nature. You put it near a warm-blooded mammal, it will suck its blood. So they've just tied a string to it so they can get it back.
And how often does it have to do that a day?
Well, I don't know. Why are these the important questions? Isn't that incredible that they've got this amazing symbiotic relationship with a bug? Because that's
is it the same one? Safety's 8 chimps.
Oh, jeez, Carl, listen to me.
No, let him. I want to.
I'm just saying, if there's 8 chimps in there,
yeah,
1 beetle.
Yeah.
By about number 5, that's going to be sick of eating.
Well, then they probably have different beetles, and they let it. And Carl, I don't know why this is the. I'll tell you why it annoys me, because
it annoys him.
The other concern is that beetle. It might be enjoying, getting the blood and what have you. What happens if one of them's got AIDS?
What, one of the
chimps? That's where it came from. So say if there's
well, then they know, and they say, "Oh, this chimp's got AIDS. Let's."
And what about the beetle?
What, are you saying you're worried that the beetle will contract AIDS?
Well, I don't know if that's how it works, but all I'm saying is, you get a dirty chimp in there. It's got a touch of that, and the beetle gets it. And all I'm saying is, it seems a bit unfair.
What are you worried about the beetle? Working hard. It's eating what it likes.
This is the same as getting in foreigners to make cheap trainers, to me. They, let the beetle do what it wants. I mean, how long do they live? I read the other day about some elephant beetle. They get about 4 months.
Right.
What do you think of this, right? This elephant beetle in the paper the other day.
Yeah.
About the size of a gerbil.
Right.
Massive. Odd-looking thing.
Mm.
The bigger, the uglier it is.
Why are you looking at me?
No. In a way, that is the way it works, isn't it? I think size is a big deal, isn't it? In a way, because
this is interesting.
Well, we better being smaller, aren't we?
Well, it depends.
What do you mean?
Well, no. If you're afloat in the Atlantic Ocean and it's 4 degrees centigrade, it'd be better to be fat.
I didn't really mean like that. I just meant in terms of, like, Steve. I've mentioned he's taller than us.
Yeah.
He's always ill.
Well, that's nothing to do with his height.
I just think bigger people, it's like that Zhang Lung or whatever, the world's tallest man. He's always sneezing and that. He's always got something up with him because he's not meant to be that big. Small fellas, you never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room. They never get ill, do they? You never see one getting run over because they're too small, so you don't hit them. So it's. I think size. If you're too big,
you never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room.
So
maybe they're there.
No, they're not. They're not. So what I'm saying to you is, this beetle that's massive, size of a gerbil.
Yeah, but it's still. But a gerbil's small. What do you mean?
No, this is a big one.
This beetle is massive. It lives 4 months.
Lives 4 months. Been found in a banana crate. Right.
Right.
It's over here. They're upset for it because it's been in this banana crate for, it could be like 3 months. And the whole purpose of the elephant beetle is to have it away. That's all it wants in its life. It's only got 4 months and it loves having it away with another beetle. And it hasn't had it. So they found it in this crate and it looked distraught. They said it was showing all signs of, like, desperately wanting to have it away. It was
well, when you can wank yourself to death with 6 legs, you leave anything alone for 3 months in a dark crate.
Just eating a load of bananas.
Yeah, eating bananas and whacking away.
Well, anyway,
6 times at exactly the same moment.
Its feet go, apparently.
I bet it does.
What do you mean its feet go?
That's a sign. When they got it out, they got the experts in. They said, "What is this? We've got a beetle here the size of a gerbil." They said, "We'll come round." They had a look.
I said, "Well, how big's the gerbil?"
That's just scientists HQ. There's a hotline you can phone.
Come round. Right, you'll need a gerbil-sized box to bring that round in. Come round. Ring. Operator. Can I have people in charge of giant gerbil beetles? I'll put you through. Hello? Gerbil beetle people. I think I've got one. Come round.
Anyway, its feet were going.
What do you mean his feet were going? Do you mean it was dancing like Lionel Blair, or it had bunions?
I haven't seen one, but
There's a surprise.
I just read that that they were saying, yeah, we know what's the problem here. Look at its legs go, and they go up and down a lot, and it means that it wants like a partner. It's dying for it. And they were saying they only live 4 months, and it looks about 3.5 months old. This one.
How did they tell that?
The problem is they haven't got any of these beetles here,
Right.
so they've had to, instead of flying it back out,
Yeah.
they've gone over there to try and find one to bring it back because of the stress and that it's had, and it's older.
Couldn't you put a gerbil in a beetle outfit?
Hang on a minute.
I don't mean a little wig holding a guitar.
But I don't know the full story in that. I just know that they found this beetle.
It just sounds unlikely that people would be this concerned about
I
one
agree.
beetle, and it's only got half a month left. It's got 2 weeks left. It's got to have some sex. We have got to give this beetle some sex because, god damn it, it's a beetle. What was found on a boat with some bananas?
I
It
don't know
deserves
why-
sex before it dies.
I don't know why he cares more than a blood-sucking beetle than a chimpanzee.
I just can't
suddenly.
believe people are flying out to Japan or
Why
wherever
do
they
you
come
care so much about beetles all of a sudden?
Only because they were mentioned, and I just thought, whilst we're on the beetle tip, let's discuss them.
What do you mean his legs were going as well?
That's what they do. That shows signs of like it needs a woman. It's never had one before, which is weird. That's what I was going to say. It knew even though it didn't. And you're talking about my brain and my ears and all that. There's an example of how the beetle's not in charge. There's something else going on in its
Well,
body.
it's called instinct.
Yeah.
But that's true in a beetle, but it shouldn't be true in a human being.
But it is though, isn't it? Otherwise, how did the first baby survive? How are we here now? Because you look at babies and they're spoilt rotten. I'm sick of it, the way they don't do anything for ages. They wouldn't survive. A kangaroo comes out, it's hopping around in about 2 hours. Babies, they sit there for months.
But there's a very good reason for that. I've told you that.
It needs its mother. If that was in a banana crate, it would have given up after about a week. What I'm saying
a couple
is,
of days. It would have died in a couple of days, probably.
yeah. Whereas this beetle, he didn't know the outcome. He didn't know if he's ever going to see this partner. Yet, even though he's been in this crate with bananas for 3.5 months, it still wants to have it away. Now, if I was that, I'd be like, I'm not in the mood anyway.
Why do you equate yourself with the beetle? This is what I don't understand.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying how that's where nature's good, and I think the beetles are better than us in a way.
We have got our brain, we've got our creativity, we've got our cognition, we've got all those things. That's our forte. That's where we kick in. Thought, introspection, art. I agree. Well, I could not live in a crate full of bananas for 2 hours. I admit that. I admit that if my mum had given birth to me and then dropped me immediately in a bin, I wouldn't have survived.
Yeah.
But I don't see your point. And I understand that Beatles can do that, and I can't. But do you know what? The Beatles, they couldn't have written and directed The Office. So let's call it even.
Hey, all this talk of the Beatles, right, has suggested to me, let's have some more music. Here's the Rolling Stones.
Oh, doesn't work.
Oh, brilliant. Is there a jingle for Rockbusters? I don't think there's ever been one, is there?
No.
Could you come up with one quickly?
Oh, Rockbusters.
Brilliant.
All right.
Well, the prizes this week, there's not many. I have to say, Carl's not sourced many, but what he's got are actually good quality.
Well, I'm trying to instill in him that it's, quality, not quantity.
Absolutely.
As opposed to, like, 15 copies of, Fools and Horses Christmas Special with a giveaway 3-wheeler
Yeah.
car and Primal Scream's greatest hits on 11 CDs.
Yeah. Not Primal Scream, in Spiral Carpets.
Oh, that was it, yeah.
In Spiral Carpets. Anyway, yeah, we've got this new Kiss FM Hip Hop Classics compilation, which has got some really good stuff on there. New stuff from the likes of, Outkast and the Wu-Tang, but some old classics from Public Enemy, and of course LL Cool J's Mama Said Knock You Out. It's one that's worth having alone for that track.
Yeah.
I think this is 4 CDs? No, 2 CDs. The Best Air Guitar Album in the World, Volumes 1 and 2 in a special box set.
Yeah.
You've got all sorts on there.
There's May.
Brian Adams is on there, Robert
Adams,
Palmer.
May,
but also
Palmer.
excellent stuff, Beastie Boys, Clash, we got the Kinks, so that's good. Abigail's Party, the DVD thing with Alison Steadman. I know you're quite a fan of that, aren't you, Rick?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
She's from many years ago. If you've not seen it, it's good. This Later with Jules Holland DVD. It's got live performances from PJ Harvey, the Cardigans, Rollins.
But he is playing Boogie Woogie over their tracks.
I would hope so.
Okay, good.
And also, is this the new albums from the Thrills?
Yeah,
Is it the album?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a little.
Wow.
Is that exclusive? It's not even out yet, is it?
I know, not even
What?
out.
Not even out yet.
Well, that's the sort of things that Carl can come up with if pushed. It's all about the game, though. It's all about the game. The prizes are just for fun. It's all about the playing the game. Let's see what Carl's come up with this week. This is his last chance. If I ever hear anything like new odour again, that's the end.
Well, they did get it though, didn't they? So they're working out. They will do it.
Just let's have the jingle again.
Alright.
Oh, Rockbusters!
Right, if you haven't heard it before, cryptic clues that make up a band and some initials to help you on your way as well. Right? So,
Well, you'd never get it without, but go on.
first one, that fella likes sucking on iron. Right?
That fella likes sucking on iron.
Yeah, the initial M. Right?
Okay.
That fella likes sucking on iron. Right, that's the first one. Second one, the Jamaican fella spots a boat.
Oh, God.
Say that again.
The Jamaican fella spots a boat.
Spots a boat.
Yeah. Right.
The Jamaican fella spots a boat.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
All right.
Initial D.
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 D, okay.
D.
All right.
And the last one, do you want a game of tug of war? Well, it's up to you. You own it. Right?
Interesting.
I've just got number 2.
Right. Do you want
Oh, God. Right,
the
go
third
on.
one? Do you want a game of tug of war? Well, it's up to you. You own it.
And what's the
Right.
initial?
E.
All of them again, quickly.
Right. So the first one, that fella likes sucking on iron. That's M. Second one, Jamaican fella spots a boat. Right. That's D. And the last one, do you want a game of tug of war? Well, it's up to you. It's, you own it. Right. That's,
He finishes it like it's a whole story by the end.
that's E.
Mickey.gervais@xfm.com.
With the answers to Rockbusters, the biggest quiz on radio, probably. Do you want to remind us the quiz?
No, you mean the crappiest quiz on radio?
Yeah.
Right. First one was that fella likes sucking on iron.
Yeah.
Right. The initial was M.
Yeah.
What was the band? It was Metal Liquor. Right.
What's Metal Liquor? No, wait, I've never heard of a band, Metal Liquor.
Metallica.
No, you said,
Metallica.
you said Metal Liquor, I don't understand.
Yeah, Metallica. Metallica.
What? No, say it again and try and make Metallica sound like Metal Liquor.
Metallica. Metallica. Metallica.
Is he having a fit? Say it again, make Metallica sound like Metal Liquor.
Metallica. Metallica.
Okay, next one.
Right.
Yeah.
Second one, the Jamaican fella spots a boat. That was easy. That was D. That was Debage. You got that?
Make it sound like the band.
Debage.
Make it sound like a Jamaican fella saying, spotting a boat.
Debage. Right. So you got that one.
Okay.
And the last one, do you want a game of tug of war? Well, it's up to you. You own it.
Yeah.
Right. That was E. That was your rope. Right. Europe.
Europe?
Right.
Who did the final countdown?
Yeah. So that's the.
No, what? We've let that go.
That's the 3 answers for this week. Who's the winner, Steve?
Richard Ashcroft, check the meaning. He's from your neck of the woods, isn't he?
Wigan.
Yeah, we were just discussing
The fact how miserable and mean Carl is. He won't do anyone a favour.
Do favours. I shifted your telly.
Oh, hold on. He shifted my telly. I gave him a television. I gave him a bed. He went, I shifted your bed. No, I gave you a bed. That's how he couches things.
I cashed that bloody cheque you wrote to me.
Unbelievable.
Who's the last person you did a favour for where you weren't expecting something in return?
I'm always treating people. I've told you, if I have a good day, at the end of it, I'll go, do you know what? I'll treat them.
Treat who?
It might be a homeless fella. It might be some charity. I'm sick, honestly, the amount of money I give away
It
to
might
stuff,
be a
I don't like chatting
girlfriend
about it.
who got a lovely new camera for Christmas, still wrapped up from when it was given to you as a leaving present.
So,
All this stuff about you're doing so much for charity. You honestly tell me you think you're walking along, you're whistling. Oh, I've had a great day, me. Hey, you never have a great day.
No, I've never seen you have a great day. It doesn't matter what. It's unbelievable. You're whinging all the time, miserable. Nothing impresses you, nothing at all. The best I've ever heard you was, I was alright at that.
Well, tell us about the last time you had a great day. What was the last great day you had where you thought, oh, I must end this by giving some money to a homeless fella?
I mean, yeah, I don't have a great day. but what I mean is, a day when I go, do you know what? I'm quite content.
That's amazing.
It's a long way from a good day.
That is the equivalent of him skipping along.
No, every night before I nod off, I lie there and I think, what sort of a day have I had? And I'll go through it and I'll go, yeah, that was all right.
How boring is that?
No, it's good. You've got to do that. Otherwise, what was the point of the day? If you're never going to look back on it and go, what have I done? Yeah, that was all right. What's the point of it happening?
But how often do you go, wow, I've really achieved a lot today? Because I remember one day at random you told us you'd been to the Cobblers and back.
I didn't even know Cobblers still existed.
Yeah, that was a 24-hour period we were talking about there. You kept a diary. It mainly consisted of had a chip butty in a cafe with Suzanne. And then you talk about an old woman you saw.
No,
that was your day.
I've made it a thing that I do now, that I like to learn something every day. And then
what have you learnt today?
Well, I haven't done anything yet.
Brilliant.
But what I'm saying
What
is...
did you learn yesterday?
I've learned you're not a generous man. You're a mean bastard. You don't repay.
And that's coming from Steve Merchant.
I'm just saying, as long as... I always think if you've learnt something, then the day's not been wasted.
Well, what have you learnt yesterday? What have you learnt yesterday?
It was something you told me about the monkey arm.
Right, yeah. There's scientists have done the first brain robot interface. They've put like 100 electrodes on the part of the cortex that is for your motor system, and they put it on a monkey's brain, and through the power of thought he learned how to use a robot arm.
Wow.
So just by thought, just like you do your own arm, you know, and it took him a few days, not years. In a few days, this monkey was making this robot arm pick up grapes and put it in his own mouth through the power of thought. Right? Carl went, did he have his own arms? I went, yeah. He went, well, he's lazy then.
Don't you think it's a bit wasted on a chimp? One, what's it doing? All they ever do is eat or chuck shit about. So why give them a decent new robotic arm?
Well, who are you going to give it to?
I just mean give it to something that is going to get more use out of it.
What, a giraffe?
No, something more. If they could link that up to a worm, I'd go, that's good.
Well, how could a worm think to use a robot arm?
Listen to me.
They can't think.
Hang on, I'd like to know. I'd like to know how this tiny
How do you know? How do you know? What I'm saying is, a worm's never had an arm.
You're a maniac. Think what you're saying. You wish a worm had an arm for a day.
No, all I'm saying is, if we're going to faff about here and get animals giving them extra arms,
They weren't giving a monkey an extra arm. They were testing this theory that they could make the first computer-brain interface. The thought went from the brain through a computer and made this arm work. That's incredible. The upshots are you can really have bionic arms. You could have amputees having perfectly working dexterous limbs.
And your response to that is?
Give it to a worm.
I'd just say I'd be more... I'd sort of be fascinated about seeing it more. If they said, look at what the worm wants to do with an arm if it had one.
I honestly don't know how your brain works. I think we should give it to you and see what you do with the arm.
What? I tell you what.
How could a worm have an arm, Carl? It
wouldn't have an arm. The monkey didn't have an arm. It was a robot arm that they'd set up.
Right. Let me explain it like this. I wish they'd have picked something else. Maybe not a worm, but they always seem to do the tests on the wrong animals.
No, they do it on the closest thing to the human being they can.
I'll tell you what I read. Do you know I say I like to learn something every day and what have you?
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, it was about our worm. They've given it anti-aging cream.
Right.
When have you ever seen an old worm? How do we know if it's any good? I could not tell you the age of a worm. I've seen loads of them. Give it a tortoise.
Play a record.
With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
And the little bald mank twat that is the shaven monkey known as Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Now, Rick, just a quick question, because if people have just stumbled across this, perhaps on the internet or on their TV channel, they're probably going to be a little bit alarmed by what you've said there. You've come straight in with little bald mank twat, and a lot of people don't know who that little bald mank twat is, so maybe you should clarify. Well,
I'm Ricky Gervais. You probably know me from such shows as The Office and Extras, cameos in the odd film. My long-term partner, not in that way, Stephen Merchant.
Not in that way. Stephen Merchant, yes, I was involved with some of those projects, but I've not been in a film.
And we met Carl when we went back to XFM as Conquering Heroes. We were let go. when XFM changed hands, and then we did The Office, and then we came back, and we were big shots. No longer did we need to run the desk or press any buttons. So we were assigned, how can I put this, like a stupid lackey.
Yes. Proper. I mean, probably the person who was lowest on the rung.
I'd have thought so.
Station.
They said, "Oh, give it to me. No one wants to work Saturdays."
The caretaker didn't work Saturdays, so they gave us Karl.
And we met Karl, and I was first struck by the roundness of his head. I'll be honest. I thought, this is a bald man, a little round-headed bald freak of a man. He opened his mouth. He spoke funny. Actually, he spoke without opening his mouth. That was the second thing that struck me. He just had this slack-jawed gimpness about him. Words came out.
I think they get the idea now, anyway.
Was what?
Do you feel that was a balanced explanation of your meeting with us, or would you like to offer any extra detail there, Karl?
Well, with every meeting, there's a different story, isn't there? The way you sort of looked at me and thought, he's weird. I saw Steve. It was like a triangle. Ricky was looking at me, I was looking at you, thinking that's weird.
It seems a little unjust that I'm why don't you have any go at Ricky for being fat and
just because?
old?
No, I'm just saying on the first meeting,
right?
It's like a museum, isn't it? Everybody rushes to the weird stuff first.
I love the fact that you're putting yourself firmly in that category as well, though. Oh, I love that. That's great. Like someone from Reservoir Dogs. Everyone looking at someone else.
But you don't feel that way about me anymore.
No, I've got used to it now. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying that whatever your accusations of weirdness were, they all were unfounded.
It moves on, doesn't it? It's like anything. You get used to a look, don't you? I watch a lot of programmes on stuff that people have up with them, and
you only watch programmes about people that got something wrong with them. That is what you do. If ever you say, "Did you see that thing last night?" It's going to be something like the kid who was born with too many legs, or the baby with an arse for a head. It's always going to be stuff like that.
It's like there was a programme on a bit back about a fella who had a funny head and what have you, and he lived in a small village, and nobody double-taked anymore because you get used to it, don't you?
What was up with his head?
Just had like it was sort of like the new Elephant Man. He'd sort of had gone for that look.
He's gone for that look. And what does he do in the morning? Just eat a bun, sort of shave?
It's just that's all I'm saying is people in his village. You want a big village. People were used to it, and they no longer stared. And that's what I'm saying with you.
But it's interesting that because you say you've acclimatised to my so-called weirdness. I don't know what weirdness that is. I've still not grasped that. But Ricky continues. What?
It's just the eyes.
He's listening.
Why are you listening? So I've not had a go at you, and you super round head like a orange. Which is the thing which perpetually entertains Ricky. Ricky is never acclimatised to you. Is that fair, Rick?
Yeah, I love it. I can't get enough of him. Because I see different things. Every time I look at Karl, sometimes I see like a completely sort of like spherical object. Right, like honestly, like some sort of pumpkin on Halloween. And then I see him, flat, straight
with
on.
With a pumpkin, Rick, with a jack-o'-lantern outside someone's house, right? There is a certain light behind the eyes. Not with Karl.
And then sometimes he looks like a plate. Do you know what I mean? Like, like a clay plate that a child has made.
When they've made a face on the plate using their food.
Or a biscuit. Like one of those biscuits, novelty biscuits you can buy at your birthday.
Can ice with a little smile into my...
Yeah. But that's not the, I think that's not the biggest thing. Karl, it isn't his physicality, isn't it the roundness of his head, it isn't the gimpness of his slack-jawed face. It's not even his hairy body and sort of like chimp-like gait. It is.
Although those are all key features.
These are all key features, but it's his incredible mind. And I think maybe over the next 2 hours or so, if you haven't heard of Karl, then I think you're in retreat. If you have heard of Karl, then you're already being treated, I think, by the fact that he is present on this special broadcast.
Rick, can I suggest that we take a pause there, play some music, come back and we'll talk some more?
Oh, this isn't just about Karl, we're playing some great tunes. To be born English is to win first prize in the lottery of life. So what do you think of that, Karl?
Maybe it's that thing that I don't appreciate what I've got, but to me, being English isn't anything that great.
Really?
Why not?
Because, It's just what I've been dealt with.
But what would you, I mean, I know you know nothing about the world.
You've travelled nowhere. You've seen nothing.
Yeah. But if you could be any nationality, what would you be and why?
Probably be Italian.
Okay. Why?
Well, just, yeah, I like the idea of it. I like Italians are alright.
Where would you live? Rome?
I probably wouldn't want to be in the middle of Rome. It's too much hassle.
Have you been to Rome?
Yeah, it's nice to visit and stuff, but it's just I wouldn't want to live there. You've got to get paperwork done and that if you just want to put a picture up, because everything's old, everything's listed.
He's only been Italian about 3 minutes and he's already slacking it off.
He's already
No,
whinging.
but I like
there.
Rome.
Yeah.
It's good. A lot of old stuff.
Why have you chosen Italy? I'm interested to know why of all the countries you've chosen Italy.
I was a late comer to pasta.
But it's won you round.
I like it now. It's like one of my favourite things I have. Which there isn't really anything like that in England. That even though it's
well, except pasta.
Pasta's
No,
almost
but it's-
exactly like it.
Yeah,
no, but it's not.
we've got pasta, haven't
It's
we?
not ours though, is it? And we
No,
don't know
we've
how
got-
to eat it.
What do you mean we don't know how to eat it?
We do it all wrong.
You stick it up your arse again.
Look at me, I know how to fucking eat it.
No, but what I mean is, if you saw a proper Italian and they saw what we did to pasta, they would not be happy.
What are we doing wrong? Tell me what we're doing wrong
Well, I
with
don't
pasta.
know that, otherwise we wouldn't be doing
Well,
it
how
wrong.
do you know we're doing it wrong?
I've just heard we do it wrong. It's like how we have the coffee at all the wrong times. I ordered a cappuccino somewhere and the Italian fella said you shouldn't be having that now, it's a breakfast coffee.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Before 12 o'clock,
Yeah, but I was having it at like 11:15 at night.
Oh,
It looks
wow.
like I
Well,
was
that's
mental.
absurd. How are you going to get to sleep with a lovely cup of coffee?
Yeah, that's a
Well,
good
I don't
point.
sleep anyway,
You
do
shouldn't
I?
drink coffee anyway at night. There was cappuccino
stupid. No
or
wonder he was
frappuccino
right to say
or mocha. Doesn't matter. Don't drink coffee after about 4 in the afternoon anyway. Full stop.
So, hang on. So you love pasta, but you're not eating it right, so you'd like to be Italian in order to be able to eat pasta correctly, even though you enjoy the pasta you eat.
What do you feel being Italian is, and what's
It's just,
attractive
it's
to
just
being...
very sort of, it's a relaxed lifestyle. Whenever you go to Italy, everyone's sat outside a cafe. It doesn't matter what sort of person
Carl,
you are.
that's all you do now with your spare time is
Yes.
sit outside a cafe.
But they get more respect over there. For
Why?
it. It's like, it's okay to do that. There's older people sat outside cafes who do nothing.
I
and it's
love the
just
fact that he
they're
wants to
probably
be
retired.
Italian so he can sit outside a cafe and get more respect than he does now sitting outside a cafe.
No, but everyone's rushing about here. People have like colder coffee. They have frappuccinos here because they haven't got time to have a hot coffee. It's like they've got a coffee with ice in so I can neck it. Get it down my neck and get on with my day. Relax, enjoy your coffee. I don't understand the rush.
You never enjoy anything. You said that you don't enjoy anything. You don't enjoy a coffee. When you're having a coffee, you're probably going, oh, I don't know if I can enjoy it yet, in retrospect. And tomorrow I'll go, I like that coffee yesterday.
But the reason you enjoy Italy is because when you were there, you're on holiday. That's why you're able to chill out and
No,
relax.
no.
When you say it's old people sat in some little Sicilian village. Of course they got no money.
Here, I went to the Salvation Army
Right.
Why?
because it's nice.
What do you mean?
You can get toast and a cup of tea for £1.
Go, you little skinflint.
Right.
You little roundy
There's
heady
nothing
Scrooge.
skinflinty about that. That's just that should be the going rate, Steve. I'm surprised I haven't seen you in there, to be honest. But the thing is,
Where is it?
now, just near Camden.
What is it? Is it like old people?
A lot of old people, mainly old people. And this is what I'm saying. These are people who are old and they sat in a cafe, but they don't get any respect. People are walking past and they don't want to go in. The way you reacted when I said I was in the Salvation Army, that's the reaction they get. Yet an old Italian person, they looked after better.
Well, it's certainly true they look after their older families, don't they? They
Right,
do
and that's
respect
all
the
I'm
family.
saying. Whereas, I mean, it's a lovely place, Salvation Army. Every old fella in there's got a tie on.
Yeah.
They make an effort.
And that chokes me when I see an old boy still put a shirt and tie on. He's 90. He's like been through hardship, and yet on a Sunday they still shine their shoes, and you know what I mean.
I mean, you sometimes can't even bother to put your trousers on a
I
Sunday.
know. Well, I've got an elasticated waistband, and
Yeah.
they're still fiddling with braces and buttons.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's what I like about Italians and that. There's a lot of
So you want to be
Respect.
Italian because when you're old, you can sit outside a cafe and get more respect than you do here.
yeah. Look at the old people in this country. They never look happy, do they? Really. Most of the time, when you see them walking around, they go to pot. No one's keeping an eye on them.
Well, it's an important thing, isn't it? That my mum, this is when she was about 60, 65. There was a neighbour who was like 85, 90. And, again, completely alone. And my mum used to go on there every day. Do you want any shopping? Do it, right? She was good for us. She was like her witness in the world, you know, to her existence. But I remember calling her once, and, she'd come back. I said, "What have you been doing?" She went, "Oh, I've been around so and so." So I went, "All right." She went, "Oh, she won't die, Rick." Like she's helping her, but she's thinking this is getting silly now. You were meant to go years ago here. I was like,
Well, that's the problem, you know. If you get pally with an old person,
Yeah.
then you could be stuck with them for years.
and having to do stuff, you know, that's what you don't want to do, is it? You meet an old, you know, an old fella, and then you've got to start popping in his sort of piles or whatever when he can't do them himself. You know, what do you do if you're?
It depends how friendly you are, though. I mean, I'm just talking about someone you meet at the bus stop, as opposed to popping the piles back in. How does that happen? Jesus. Just the ones on the estate I grew up on. As soon as he got to a certain age, there was Mrs. Knowles who went mental. One day she seemed fine, next day she was chucking cans in everyone's garden. You could just hear her coming. Which was weird. Aren't you? Now you brought up weird people. There was a fella called Shorts Man. Right?
It's so pedestrian. I love that.
Shortest man wore some shorts.
Now, what I like, yeah, he did, but they were really short. They were that sort where, you know, it's almost pointless having them on.
What do you mean?
They were just, you know, like shorts now for blokes. They go up to your knees, don't they? There's no chance. There's no accident happening there. There's nothing going to pop out.
Yeah.
No.
But Shorts Man, he liked it. He liked the fact that happened. And he used to walk with big strides to sort of help the chance along. So that he knew, with the big strides and the short shorts,
Yeah.
they were going to pop out.
Did you ever see it pop out?
Yeah.
Why were you
everyone
looking at the
did.
shorts?
Just because it was like playing Buckaroo. It was like, when are they going to pop out?
But what?
It's just what happened.
So, right, but shorts man. So he was an exhibitionist. He basically wanted people to see his veg.
Yeah. And they were out more than they were in. I mean, they had a tan. Right? Now the thing is, what we like in England, I think we like that. We like local characters.
The eccentric.
Yeah.
Eccentric's that's very British. Eccentric, yeah.
I'm glad I grew up round there with all them people, because
So
they're
am I.
interesting.
Well, there is a certain mindset about the great English, certainly the older English people. I mean, my grandparents are, you know, my grandfather died recently, but they're amazing, kind of eccentric, very English, seemingly no friends, from what I can identify. I don't know if this is unique to them or true of a lot of English people, older people, terrified of what the neighbours might say. They always did that thing of speaking like that in case Jack's in next door.
Yeah.
Like the neighbours are constantly listening in.
Yeah.
They've got glasses against the wall. They're constantly listening into what my gran's got to say.
Yeah.
They had about 3 teeth between them. It was extraordinary. My grandfather had a plate of false teeth during the war that had a wooden pallet. A wooden upper pallet with teeth on it, and those teeth slowly fell off during the course of the years. Never got replaced. So they'd sort of invite you to Sunday roast, and they would wake up at 6 in the morning to put the beef on, and they wouldn't have it till 6 in the evening. They would cook it. The biggest compliment you could have if you made some food for my gran, if it was some beef, would be, "Oh, you're so lovely, this, so tender, you can suck it away." If you could suck your Sunday roast through a straw, she was happy.
Well, she didn't have any teeth.
Right, exactly. Basically, they got to about the age of 60 or something, and it was as though they were just waiting to die. It was strange. They lived for my grandfather lived for at least another 25 years. So it was, you must have been gutted. But when my father needed a winter coat, a big heavy winter coat, and he was thinking of buying one, and my gran said, "Oh, don't worry about that, Ron. You can have your father's winter coat." And he said, "Well, but you know, he's still alive. What do you talk about? You know, he needs it winter coat." She went, "No, he'll be dead soon. Just don't, silly to waste it. Seems to waste it, you know, just wait." My father must have been waiting 10 years for that winter coat.
I love the fact he waited. You can see where Steve got it from.
Of course he
waiting.
did. Stupid, I'm waiting now.
Steve, you must be freezing.
I am cold, but I'll tell you, it's a lovely coat.
Bob Dylan, Positively 4th Street.
I actually, Rick, was in Vietnam a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if this was thanks to your campaign, but I did pass somewhere. It was admittedly a European person, but as I passed, they went, "Oi, oi! Karl Pilkington's got a head like a f***ing orange."
That's amazing.
Which is lovely to see.
And
I've
that's
had
in-
it all the way around the world.
That's in Vietnam. What were you doing in Vietnam?
You know, just heard there was a war. Went over to see if that was wrapped up. They finished that a while ago.
So you've been to Vietnam. You went to
Popped down to Cambodia at the same time.
Cuba, yeah, Cambodia, Kenya. I was wondering, would you ever consider going to a holiday destination where you didn't have to have injections in the stomach to get in?
Well, you know what? I am an adventurer by spirit. I'm a sort of Indiana Jones figure, and plus someone was paying for it. We did it. Pardon me. We did it in high class luxury. There was no slum in it. I felt a bit bad because I was worried that I wouldn't see the real Vietnam. But I did see the real Vietnam from the air-conditioned 4x4 that I was being driven to my 5-star hotel.
And what's it like?
It's great. It's really good. I mean, obviously, you know, the war was a long time ago, so they've got back on the, back on their uppers. I don't know what I mean by that, but anyway,
That's the other way around. If you're on your uppers, isn't it? Yeah.
Back on. Anyway, it's doing well. A lot of nice people, a lot of generous people. You know, obviously there's poverty.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things over there I think which would really intrigue you, Carl, and I think it's a great shame that you're not more adventurous as a traveller, because I think it would really open your eyes.
You're having a laugh. He has about 9 holidays a year.
He goes to the same place, doesn't he? Some rock in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, it's safe. I know Vietnam's
There's nothing there.
I know, but I don't sort of... What I've seen of Vietnam, I had a mate who went to somewhere like that. He showed me a picture. I had a picture of him walking round with a bag of locust that had been sold, and that's to eat.
Well, I did actually utter the phrase at one point, "Oh, I think that gecko's repeating on me."
That's what I mean.
So, I mean, I am quite exotic. I don't mind. I tell you what I didn't do, though, and I think I would fascinated to have seen you down there. There's a place in Vietnam, just outside of Hanoi, called Snake Village. Right, and it is a long, long tradition in Vietnamese culture of eating snakes. In fact, one of the tourists even said, one of the guides actually said, "We will eat anything," and they eat snakes over there. And I'm not just talking about tiny little ones. I mean proper, great big mammoth snakes. Sometimes even king cobras, which I think may even be endangered in some parts of the world. And anyway, in Snake Village, you go over there. I didn't go because I was just a bit too squeamish. You sit down. They bring a great big snake. You choose it like you would a lobster. They bring you that snake. They sort of give it a bit of a demonstration. Then they slit it open in front of you.
That's disgusting.
The blood dribbles into a cup, and then if you're the guest of honour, they take the still beating heart and they make you drink it from a glass.
Yeah, you see,
That's disgusting.
I've never fancied that.
No.
I've never sort of thought, do you know what? I just think it's not holiday, that. It's like endurance.
Well,
I don't...
I'm not suggesting that you would enjoy that. I'm saying that there are many of these interesting, you know, exotic worlds out there. You just stay closeted in your tiny little world and whinge about everyone else. Oh, and this and that. You've got no real empathy. I mean, I went to some extraordinary places in Vietnam. There's quite a lot of floating villages.
Yeah.
Villages that are actually floating on the water where the fishermen
Well, he's
live.
had trouble with his boiler. There was a big leak in your flat, wasn't there?
But that's fine, looking at stuff like that. All I'm saying is, when it comes to the point when I'm getting hungry, don't be serving me a snake's head. I'd love to see a little floating village. But why is it every restaurant you go in, they go, you know, do you want some crispy ant? Sea urchins? You know, some mate had one of them, and he said, it's sort of alive when you're eating it. You have to hit it on the head to knock it out a bit and eat it before it wakes up again. I don't want a meal where you're sort of having to do that to it. I'm not going to enjoy it thinking, is it waking up yet? I haven't finished my starter. Oh, it's rolling about a bit. Hit it on the head again.
But this shows your ignorance, Carl, because Vietnamese food is not like that at all, is it? I'm just talking about one particular exotic restaurant.
What was your last holiday? A couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a cheap one, though.
Go on, where'd you go?
It was only 250 quid.
Yeah, brilliant. Go on.
Just a place in
You
Menorca.
don't want to waste money, do you?
Menorca. It's just,
You've been there before, haven't you?
no, I don't think I have.
You've basically been to the same places over there.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, I'll. Yeah, you're right. I mean, there was nothing there to see. It was just. Even the weather wasn't that good. But
So it was a
I don't
waste
know
of
why
time.
I went.
No wonder it was 250 quid.
I don't know why I went.
But it's an experience.
So you and Suzanne went away for an idyllic holiday. It was £250 all in for a week, was it? Weather wasn't very good. There was nothing to see.
It was a shithole.
Right, what did you do?
I just sat outside and I was watching.
In the rain.
But you didn't even need to hire a villa then. You could have just, like, pitched up and said, can I sit here?
We had our own space, and for the first day it was all right. And then, then a family moved in next door from Scotland, and they were loud. And I hate it when people are loud and you can't understand what they're saying because their accents was really strong. So it's like, no, I can't even sit here and listen to what's going on. It's like really strong accent.
Brilliant.
The kid was only young, but he sounded old. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what that means.
No, I've no idea.
Just the Scottish voice. It sounds old. Even though he was a baby, he had a voice of an old man.
I don't know what that means.
This is what I'm saying. You don't go anywhere where you can embrace the change and the difference. You go to places where just some annoying people come and you move in next door.
I had paella. I mean, it depends. It depends how much you want out of life. How much, what? Yeah, like I said to you, life's about learning.
What do you want to learn?
I'm just saying that's what life's about. If you don't learn anything, then what's the point? You might as well be a mayfly.
Right.
We've got all these years on the planet.
Yeah.
See something.
Hold on. This is what Steve's saying.
I know, but I'm saying watch it on the telly.
There we are. There's the rub.